Hey guys, welcome back to Sierra Rose Typology. Today we've got a fun one for you, and I do mean fun. So, I happened to catch a podcast from this woman a few days ago, again, when I was just chilling in the tub. And I found her really quite engaging and interesting. And I was familiar with her because back in the day, I used to do the Beachbody workouts. Not to date myself, but yeah, I never did her stuff. I liked Insanity with Sean T, and also I liked P90X. But anyways, yeah, so I was familiar with her and the whole like beach body thing. And I just happened to see her video on like kind of like spilling the tea on the fitness industry and what went wrong with Beachbody. So I was, of course, intrigued as a social dom. And I was like, well, that, and also when you get really into Enneagram stuff, like you can't help but like type people, like especially when their type is just jumping out at you. And also being a person with a lot of positivity in my type and a core nine, I am drawn and inspired to people who are core threes because that's my arc. And I found this woman very engaging, very articulate, fun, and that's gonna, be some points for what her type is. And then I went to look at her Instagram and I was like, oh wow, okay. So we'll just get some visual stuff here going. First of all, she's got this like blonde, kind of like fitness Barbie, a little bit LA, very bright and smiley, positive, perfect white teeth, which may or may not be a three thing. Specifically with her, I think she's a three wing too. She's got a lot of assertive energy. And just from listening to her on the podcast, I was thinking, okay, she's got to at least be double positive. Maybe six or seven fix. I wasn't really sure, but then I jumped on her Instagram and I was like, holy moly, this woman is a DJ. I mean, spoiler alert, she's 56 years old. And the whole vibe of her social media, which is definitely not social blind, IMO, it's very like I'm motivated, I'm getting after it, but I'm also having like tons of fun. I'm carefree, living my best life. I'm hot, I'm sexy. I'm like a blonde fitness Barbie. And then this made me laugh. So she's narrating, I'm assuming she posed for these pictures for like comedic value, but also like look at how amazing she looks. She looks freaking amazing, and she's not afraid to show it off, and I thought this was funny, as a passenger princess. So I think she's poking fun at herself for being like a little bit dramatic, like a little bit. And she's screaming because her husband's breaking, and the husband's getting cranky, as husbands do. And she's like, I'm sorry. I can almost just hear like the Valley Girl, like, oh my God, I didn't want you to rear end them, duh. And so yeah, this is just a funny take on like those marital spats that people have. And she's being a little bit bitchy here, which I think, she's playing up to the three thing. Okay. Being a little bit of a drama queen, but in a fun way. And okay, wow. Okay, okay. She's definitely playing with it. Yep. And also, showing off. Oh, wow. Yep. She is showing off the goods, but in like a really fun, kind of irreverent way, which I think is speaking to Seven Head. But also, like, look at her fit. Like, she's got these cute, sparkly stilettos going on, and like all these fun little bangles and big dramatic rings and big dramatic, like everything is dramatic about her personality or social media presence, which I think in this case is speaking to double assertive. and she's going with it. Um, and it's just playful with that kind of like DJ Trifix tends to be. She's like literally draped over the car. This must have been so uncomfortable. But she's hamming it up. She's gonna get the shots. Yep, she's on the windshield now. Yeah, so I just okay, yep. Very playful, which I think speaks to three wing two and her image center over three wing four. Because there can be an irreverence. I've noticed personally, if you've got like a nine fix and you've got two in your type, you can be very playful and lighthearted, especially if you've got a seven fix. Like you're very playful and irreverent with your image stuff at times. Like it gives you permission to be playful and irreverent because like who cares? Like two is rejection in the image center. And if you've got nine and seven, there's like extra permission to be really flippant. Like, I'm playful, I'm fun. I don't always need to look polished. I'm having fun, you know? So, but also there's like a lot of this like motivational stuff where she is embodying this obviously like fitness persona and like she wants to teach people how to be as like fit and fabulous as she is, which I think again speaks to like core assertive with three. Three is an assertive type. But also like the two wing is really loud with her where she is, doing this. She's very motivated to be fit, but she also wants to bring in other people and bring them along on for the ride. And she wants to be relatable and connect. Like, look at her. She's making very direct eye contact. She's got a lot of soft facial expressions. And interestingly enough, the last person I typed, Jillian Michaels, is an FE lead in cognitive type. She is an FENI, and I think Chalene is probably an FESI or like ESFJ in Myers-Briggs. And I haven't looked so closely, but I'm just gonna toss it out there anyways, because why not? But so she's got the FE motivational, she's JE that gives her extra oomph. And like you can see like the head pushes and the JE projecting arms, but there's a lot more softness to her. And I think it speaks to a general lack of reactivity in her type and all the positivity that she does have. And the softness that the two wing is giving her core three. But yeah, all of this is very, very imagey in a very like three wing two kind of way. It's inspirational. She's putting a positive spin on menopause. Um, and then I also thought this was interesting that she's talked about her sobriety, that her main vice had been alcohol, like champagne. She would reward herself and she just liked to like chill and vibe with the alcohol. And it's actually super relatable for me. Where you just like having fun and spacing out and being indulgent a little bit too much and it becomes a problem. So you have to cut it out and get your kicks somewhere else. But yeah, so this one was good too. That right there is like to me pure DJ energy with like core assertiveness. Like I'm driven, I'm doing the things, but I'm also having fun. And none of it matters if you're not actually enjoying your life. And I mean, which is true, right? And I think that's probably one reason why she's had a lot of longevity and staying power in the fitness industry. Like she's been around forever. And she is also she can be pretty serious, core three. She's giving people helpful advice, but like there's also stuff like this. Okay, yeah, that's just like pure DJ energy. Like, I don't need alcohol to be the life of the party. And she to me seems like extremely fun, like someone I would want to hang out with. But yeah, I mean that like kind of fitness Barbie thing. Just fun, casual. I'm sure she like literally gets random ideas and just records a lot of this stuff on the fly. But when she needs to be really dialed in and serious, she can definitely go there. And I think that speaks to like three as an attachment type that they're able to bring the energy. They're very intuitive in that sense that they can bring the energy that's required in that situation. Whether, okay, it's party time, I'm gonna party, or it's time to be serious, or I'm putting on my little girl boss hat. And so she's just kind of doing it all. But anyways, we can get into the video that I was listening to, and I think that we'll be able to see some solid points for what I got for her typing.
Leaving you? Come on, challenging fun.
Got my protein shake. Yeah.
Push. Tell yourself, I got more real energy right now. Move!
Turbo Fire was created by Chalene Johnson, fitness innovator, motivational dynamo, mother of two, driving.
Okay, kind of obvious point there. Fitness dynamo speaks to double assertive. She's got like kind of like a little bit of a demented cheerleader vibe, which is what you're doing if you're a group fitness instructor. Like her job is to motivate people, and so she's got to be really dynamic, I think, in that 3 and 7 way.
Force of every workout.
I stepped back away from Beachbody many years ago. I did it quietly because I had a lot of friends who were in the network marketing side of things. Our former company, we sold to Beachbody. So, it was, I just kind of had to keep my mouth shut and not say much.
Is it a slow decline?
Okay, so that's points for 9-wing 1 fix in gut because, well, she's very dynamic, very confident. She's also got she's got poise and she is very dignified. And the fact that she was careful to keep her mouth shut because I just think it speaks, and you're going to see more about that she is 9 fixed.
Client, or is it like a cliff for them? Do you know?
I mean, I have personal opinions on it. I
want to hear those.
Yeah,
I want to hear that. I want to hear the. That's what I want to. That's why I'm not talking to discuss.
I've got personal opinions, but I'm not going to spill them because I'm tactful, I'm poised, I'm 9-wing 1 fixed.
When you look back at your guys' journey, like what have been some of the biggest, like that was a blunder or that was a bad turn? When you think of all the business decisions and pivots that you guys have made.
Anytime that a business has taken a lot longer to take off, a lot longer to identify the marketing, the avatar, and just to get it right, it's because I was like, well, I don't want to alienate this group or that group, and the more I doubled.
So again, there's a little bit more of that 9 coming through. She wants to be broadly appealing, which I think speaks to double attachment with 3 and 9, especially 3-wing 2. She wants to like appeal to the widest group possible. She doesn't want to alienate anyone. She's a social dom. She's very plugged into people and being as broadly appealing as possible.
Down, the more successful our business. Like the worst thing a woman over 40 should be doing is endurance cardio. At this age, if I'm saying I want to live powerfully, if I want vitality, alcohol has no part of that.
Welcome back to the show.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we had fun with you last time.
We did.
Total blast. So we have you back on, and you sent us a few things that you thought would be cool to talk about. One of them I want to get to right away.
Okay.
Like something's going on with Beachbody. They're ending their MLM model.
Okay, so super delayed here, but even the fact that she does have a focus on wanting to have an enduring vitality. I mean, that speaks to me to a lot of positivity and also assertiveness in her type, that she's like taking the bull by the horns, and this she's not gonna go down this aging slope without her own fight. She's gonna be full of vitality.
And which was massive for them. This is a big deal. Like, okay, what is going on?
Yeah. So when I first started with Beachbody, they were an infomercial company. They sold fitness on TV, so that's how I partnered with them. And I don't know, several years into working with them, they transitioned that model into a network marketing model, kind of like Herbalife, Amway. And they started having distributors, people who are doing the workouts. This is like in 2006, 7, 8, maybe even 2009. So anyone who was doing the workouts, if they recommended them to their friends, they got a percentage or a cut, just like a network marketing organization. And then eventually that became a $1 billion business for them. And people who were selling it were called distributors, they actually called them coaches, which is interesting because, they were kind of positioning themselves as coaching fitness and nutrition, but you didn't have to have any credentials or knowledge other than being, you're someone who used the products or watched the workouts, and you could become a coach.
Wow.
Okay, so here's interesting because she's relaying this information very factually and almost neutrally, though she's got a little bit of like a sparkle in her eye, that they were doing some BS-ery. They were calling people coaches who were really just like sales reps, so giving them like a degree of legitimacy that they didn't necessarily possess. And she probably saw this as problematic, but again, this woman is nine fixed and very poised, very aware of how she's representing herself and her business and whatever. She's not going to call it out. And again, lack of general reactivity and also lack of super ego. Like if she was, say, a core six, this podcast would be very different. She would be exposing all the problematic aspects of, we'll just say, the scrupulous nature of a multi-billion dollar corporation that was probably exploiting people. But she's just going to gloss over it in a very positive, smiley way because she's aware of it, but she doesn't feel prompted or driven to expose the truth in that kind of sexy way. She's talking about it, but she's like, I'm gonna gloss over it. I'm just gonna give you some factual information, but I don't need to assign like super ego judgments because who cares?
I believe it was I remember looking this up, and you have better knowledge of this, because it was like the business was valued at like $4 billion, and at least 2 billion of it was coming from the MLM side. Is that correct?
A big piece of it was the Shakeology. Eventually,
Shakeology,
almost
right.
all of it came from the network marketing because, infomercials, that business model kind of dried up. I was the last infomercial that they did that was viable.
And so this utilized social media, used fitness influencers, and they were able to sell the products, the workouts.
I wouldn't even say fitness influencers so much. Eventually, people became kind of influencers because they were using social media to market the workouts and all of the supplements, the shakes, the pre-workouts, post-workouts. But that model started to decline because, as you know, fitness is available at, when my program was originally.
And one thing I want to insert here, which is a little bit of a crossover with CT, cognitive type slash voltology, is that she has very fluent articulation. She's like da 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 da, and she's using these illustrators to it's Effie warmth. Like she's drawing you into her story. She's very warm and relatable, but she's very like quick and just with it. And I think that speaks to probably nine last in her in her tri-type. So like core three with the seven head energy, that's giving her a lot of like extra oomph. And you're gonna see more of this. Like she's very sharp, she's not slow. Like nines can be a little bit slowed down, a little bit of a delayed effect because we're gut types. We're taking a while to like like almost like chewing the cud and we can have a delayed whatever.
Sold, it was like, I don't know, like $150 or something. P90X, I think, was like $300.
Oh, wow.
And now, you know, fitness is every single person who's got a decent body is a fitness influencer, right? And so they're selling on YouTube. They're not even selling. They're making it available for free everywhere. So that plus all of the other streaming platforms really cut into their, you know, their profits. And then eventually,
Again, so this is another area. It's subtle, so you could miss it. But this is an area where she could be throwing shade because there are like tons and tons of fitness influencers all over social media who are early 20s. They look good, so they're like, well, I can sell this, I can maybe make some money, and they don't have any certifications, whatever. But she's relaying this very factually. She's not assigning like a super ego judgment to it. She's just boom, boom, boom. Here's what the fitness industry has been doing, and she's just watching it with like a very like an eye on business.
all of the supplements too became readily available. There were more companies making those things.
Was it a slow decline or was it like a cliff for them? Do you know?
I mean, I have personal opinions on it. I
want to hear those.
Yeah,
I want to hear that. I want to hear the. That's what I want to. That's why I'm not talking
yeah,
and discussing.
You want to hear this is the clip from the beginning, but she's not going to say anything that's not classy and poised and with a positive spin on it. You're not going to get like a gritty tell-all from this woman ever.
You know, I stepped back away from Beachbody many years ago. I did it quietly because I had a lot of friends who were in the network marketing side of things. Our former company, we sold to Beachbody. So, you know, it was, I just kind of had to keep my mouth shut and not say much, but I could just see that they were jumping on trends when they were almost already over and creating what I felt like they're trying to create dupes of things rather than to innovate. Like when we originally came out with Turbo Jam and P90X and Insanity, those were super innovative. Like people hadn't seen that on TV.
Okay, so you can see some of that seven head energy coming out really clearly here, where she was like, it was super innovative. Like it was exciting. We were on the cutting edge. We were getting after it. And and also the fact that double attachment, because she's very tuned in, double attachment plus SO, the social instinct. She's very tuned into what's on the horizon, like the seven bright, like excitement, what's next. And she knew that Beachbody was a sinking ship probably before anyone else did. And she like quietly and graciously extricated herself from that. Again, very business minded with that, especially with that too, being very tapped into social dynamics and also just what people need, what people want. And she knew that Beachbody had started this kind of mass production, just throwing out slop. And she didn't want to be, as an image type, she didn't want to be tied to that. She didn't want to be on the sinking ship.
And it's hard for people to remember this, but you couldn't get fitness workouts like that because there weren't streaming platforms.
Yeah.
You either had to go to a gym, which most people didn't, have access to an instructor like that.
Yeah.
You couldn't get it on, even VHS.
Right.
Like, so this was really a revolutionary idea with these incredible workouts. And if I do say so myself, great instructors, very innovative. And they had to pay us a lot, because we sold a lot. And I think the executive team there was always like,
So there, in like a very likable way, she referred to herself as a great instructor. And yes, they paid us a lot, basically because we were worth it. So you don't see an overt presence of like the six self-humbling. Like she is very friendly and warm, but she doesn't necessarily feel a compulsion to like humble herself down to like, I'm just one of the people. I'm not a big deal. Like, you don't really see that from her. This woman is like shooting for the stars and she is sprinting ahead of everyone else.
how can we find someone to do the same thing who we won't have to pay them as much? You know what I mean? Like always trying to find that dupe. And there's a million people who want to be fitness famous. So they could find a lot of people who were willing to make a lot less money. And so they started kind of watering down the programs, I think. That was one big mistake. And then I think just jumping on trends too, like jumping on streaming too late, jumping on the bikes, too late, jumping on live workout classes too late.
Yeah.
And so now, are there a lot of people who are going to be hurt by this change, who made a living doing this?
By sending one email, the company made a $58 million increase in revenue just by cutting what was the percentage going to their distributors or coaches.
Just jump
That there's still a lot of things she can do, and really I'm very, very passionate about hitting that woman who's has her fingers in her ears and doesn't want to hear anything about perimenopause or menopause because she's like, I'm way too young to be talking about that. You know what I mean? But like, we need to talk about that now so that
you're not hitting the
yeah, so that you have a much different experience than your mother's menopause.
Real quick, if you're interested in hormone.
Okay, so like she's putting such a positive spin on it and fun. Perimenopause, and we're gonna innovate it and we're gonna revolutionize it and we're gonna rebrand it as this positive thing. So there's like that two-wing giving her this like inspirational teacher thing. But she's doing the thing, she's leading the pack, but she wants to bring other people with her. She wants to help.
About sexual health, libido, any of these, so any of these conversations they're really quite suppressed, and certainly because less than 3% of even OBGYNs have any substantial training on women's hormonal health. Not to mention your general practitioners, they
don't know.
And it's not their fault. It starts with medical schools. They get less than 8 hours of training on 50% of the population who's going to spend 50% of their life in this stage. So it is a conversation that needs to happen. And right now, I think there's just a lot of phenomenal female, primarily, doctors and some dudes out there too who are helping spread the word with social media, but it ain't happening on Instagram.
I find it interesting. I was actually having this conversation with my wife because I know how bad they are.
Okay, so just a little bit of a little thing I noticed here. The 379 try, Enneagrammer calls it the DJ or the sax, which I don't really like as much, but they have this thing where they're really good, they can be really good bullshitters. They can be a little bit of like a grifter, a little bit of a scam artist. And she's doing this in a sense because she's kind of rebranding herself as almost this like casual but also authoritative expert almost on women's hormones and fat loss and menopause, perimenopause, because it's relevant to her right now. And she's utilizing it, leveraging it to advance her business and appeal to this group of women, kind of in a similar way that Suzanne Summers did. I wonder what her try-fix would have. Oh wow, she's got a lot of positivity in her type. She might oh wow, she might be a DJ, a core 3-2, but she rebranded herself in a really similar way where she was like the queen of the infomercial. And she was also doing a lot of kind of BS-ery around, I think her thing was like bioidentical hormones and telling women you don't have to get like old and sad and dumpy. We can stay hot and young forever. Like the female version of like virility, the fountain of youth. I'm gonna slather estrogen cream on my hoo-ha and be sexy when I'm 70. But yeah, she was doing this first, and also kind of like a similar vibe, very like blonde and bubbly and perfect white teeth. And look at me work out. I'm so cute and sexy and perky. Thing that I don't know, it just reminded me of her.
They are with men's hormones, and men's hormones are straightforward and basic in comparison to understanding women's hormones. Like a woman's hormones before menopause.
And I also think it's interesting that she's on this podcast with a couple of these like fitness gym bros And she's totally comfortable and confident and commanding. And I can tell, like, you can tell these dynamics where these guys have a lot of respect for her. And there's almost like a deference to her level of expertise, which I think says something about her type structure, which she can command that. Um, as a woman, even a woman that kind of like represents herself physically like this, it's like a little bit of like a fitness Barbie thing, which I've said 45 times. A little bit of like I'm Suzanne Summers. I'm a little bit of a pin-up. I've got big blonde hair. Um, but I'm also someone you need to take seriously. I also know what I'm talking about, which I think speaks again to core assertiveness, core three, boosted by the assertiveness and the excitement of seven.
If she can, studies show, we've got like really great data now to show that the earlier a woman starts on hormone replacement therapy, the more balanced her transition is into menopause. The irony is we've created such a negative reputation for menopause that nobody wants to hear perimenopause.
Let's make it positive. Let's make it a good thing.
Moody,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Like you're just in a bad mood when your clothes are tight. You're in a women in particular. I don't know if guys are like this, but like
Explains a lot about Justin now. This I didn't know.
Right.
I never connected that. I never connected that until
I'm
just
learning
now.
today.
Loosen your pants.
Yeah.
You gotta get baggier pants.
I got to get baggier.
Stop
Right.
spray painted pants.
right?
Sure.
Gotta wear those. Is
I'm just jumping around. Why not?
you looking at the person who created the program and going, I want their body.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
their results.
That's all I had to gauge.
You know, and like I'm the perfect example of how bullshit that is. Like I was filming a fitness infomercial on camera and it was for a workout. And I remember looking directly into the camera and saying, and you can get these results too in just 30 minutes a day. Eating
Okay, so I think it's important to differentiate superego from like two in the type. Like, so one, two, and six are superego types, and they're all doing their superego in different ways. So if someone were to see superego coming out, a lot of people are like, oh, you're a two. But this version of superego that she's doing here, sorry, I didn't really let you watch a whole lot, but she's talking about kind of the bullshittery that was going on with Beachbody. But the funny thing was that she was, in a sense, leading that pack of the bullshit. I think at some point she talks about working out for hours a day and like barely eating anything to look the way she did. But there's the two thing of like, I need to turn this into a lesson, and it's more positive than the six reactivity. So there's like this humbling effect. And so with nine and two, and she would be adjacent, actually a good triple posse, I suppose, if you look at her weighing two plus nine and seven. So she's feeling this need to educate people, but again, it's in this very positive, light way, um, where you're not seeing the reactivity, but there's the humbling effect of nine and two of like, yeah, I was bullshitting too, but now I'm telling you the truth because I'm a three and I'm still I'm still selling you stuff.
real food. And I thought to myself, who? Not me. I'm working out 5 hours a day. I'm not eating. So these results are orthorexic. Like this is the
Okay, even the fact that she was working out 5 hours a day, I think speaks to core image because she was selling her image, right? Her body, and she was gonna, as a assertive type, double assertive, she was gonna do the shit that she had to do to present this polished image to people, this image of success. But now you see her owning up to it with that little bit of superego influence that she has.
I'm the most unhealthy I've ever been. And people are looking at me like body goals,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. No, I'm so glad you communicate all this. I want to get back to the hormone conversation. This is a big one.
The gym bros. I don't want to talk about hormones. I want
Traditionally considered
more
this is
of
a
the
big
juicy
deal.
stuff.
Accessible to women who can't afford out of pocket care. And that's wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, I think with testosterone too, because a lot of it was based off of
No one
And
cares.
because of something I knowingly did, that would have contributed to it. It was just like, this is such a no-brainer. But I was afraid. I had fear of missing alcohol. I call it FOMA.
Okay.
Fear of missing alcohol. Like I was afraid that people wouldn't invite us out to dinner. I was afraid that I still wouldn't want to dance on tables or that.
So again, more social with the focus on fun and levity that you do see with the DJ try. She was drinking because she just wanted to have more fun and let loose in the moment.
That you know what I mean? That I wouldn't be
Your
a
fun
freak in the
self.
sheets, like all these things. And none of it's
A freak in the sheets. Just that she said that, it's so hilarious. But even as she's doing this kind of like confessional thing, she's still very like smiley and like warm and relatable. This isn't really coming from a place of shame. So like certain types that struggle with a lot of shame would definitely be like the super ego types. Obviously, like shame is associated with the heart center, but with all the positivity in her type, I'm guessing this woman isn't like crying about her her moral failures or anything.
true. Like sex is better, and so many other things are better. The only thing that's like a major aha moment is I didn't realize that I was saying yes and going out to dinner and spending time with people who are really boring. If there was alcohol.
That's the seven right there. Like, ooh, I was hanging out with people who were boring because of alcohol.
Involved, and now I'm like, hell no, like I can't
You're really
do it
not that
sober.
interested.
Have a sober conversation?
Yeah,
No way
hell
we're
no.
going
That
with
is
this.
so true. There's so many.
And so even the way she's framing it at, getting sober, she's like, now I'm getting high on life and my life is better as I'm not hanging out with the boring people.
Many times
man.
where I've gone somewhere and I'm like, well, at least there'll be drinks.
Right.
Let's have some
Oh my
drinks.
God.
Literally.
I'll be able to deal with
Time I
this.
go to my in-laws. No, sure. I love you guys.
Absolutely.
Edit that out, everybody. No, it's so true. It's I think a big reason why people use any consciousness altering anything because we.
And I get it because I would mute those people too, like
Do you think it's just because they don't want to hear it? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to hear it. You don't want the buzzkill, man. Seven head.
And for me, it wasn't about anything.
Yeah.
I don't have any past traumas to speak of. Love my life, love my husband. I'll listen.
And there's positive framing because maybe she actually does have trauma, but she wouldn't perceive it as trauma because of all the, the 7 and 9 positive boosted by the 2 wing.
But oftentimes it was that it was a reward. So that was the hardest piece for me. I'm like, how do I know I had a good, how do I know I deserve something today, right? Like how you're just like, oh God, I deserve this. You feel that way. And I didn't know in the beginning.
So I think that's also indicative of the DJ, especially with core 3. Like it's very work hard and play hard. Like I'm sure this woman is very disciplined. She works really hard, and then she wants to play hard. She wants to party. She wants to get a little bit drunk and dance on the table.
Beginning how to reward myself at the end of a day, or it was like about a month into it. I was recording a webinar and I had 1,000 people waiting for this webinar, and the tech was one of those days where the tech was not teching. Everything was
That's actually relatable. And you can see the frustration. 7 is a frustration type, and the tech is not teching. I personally feel that all the time.
crashing. Microphone fell off the stand. The site went down. Everything, and I was just like this is one of those days where. For a split second, I thought to myself, well, you can have champagne tonight. And I thought, oh, wow. So I was using that to go, you dealt with something really hard. You deserve this. So I had to find new things, a new way of
you're
rewarding myself.
You're so growth minded, Chalene. Your ability to look at things and discuss them
Growth minded, that's 3 wing 2.
in this way and then make radical. That's a big change to go from enjoying it every night to none at all. Where does that come from? Or do you teach that? Are you able to coach that to people?
I've tried. Yeah, so I did. It's funny.
You can see the excitement. I've tried. Ooh, the excitement of 7.
So I did a walking challenge last, I guess, February, and we had 30,000 women take part in it. And then I did it again in the fall, and I did, I said, I called it a walk more, drink less challenge. And the attendance was like, ooh. But I knew I needed to do it. And even though, I think we had like five.
That again points against a lot of superego. Like she's laughing about it. She's like, yeah, people don't want to get sober. I get it.
1,000 women take part. And I just did 21 days. And after the first week, massive decline because people, didn't do it. But what was so rewarding was just reading comments from women who were like, I've been drinking for 43 years. I'm done. Like, it was remarkable to help them do that. And I helped them do it by understanding what they would experience, understanding the science, understanding you have choice. Like, and guess what? Even if you just drink less, like I'm not this all or nothing kind of person. Yeah. Drinking less is so much better. But that's really hard for me, I can't do that. I like it too much. If I have one glass, I want
That's
another.
Knowing yourself very well.
Yeah.
That's Katrina.
But for some people, if they can drink less, that's, still.
Okay, so here I just want to talk about the instincts because I've been kind of going over it in my head. Like SO, social instinct to the max, right? But is she SOSP or is she SOSX? And I think you could make a case for SOSX because, like, again, if we're looking at her Instagram, there are bits of it that seems like very like laissez-faire. I'm just here, I'm sexy, I'm having fun. Um, but again, that could just be like the 3/7 stem with 9, the whole DJ thing. But when this is what she's putting on social media, but like here in person, she doesn't feel like sloppy. I'm just showing up. Like anything could happen. Like she is like on the ball. She has a message, and she herself, as a core image type, has turned herself into kind of like an icon. So like SOSP, it's very like iconic. So she has crafted this image, which is, I think, probably pretty polished and careful, not like sloppy and loose and chaotic in that SOSX way. Like she feels very structured. She feels boundaried, like very commanding. Like again, she's in this room with these two like gym bros, but she is presenting herself as the authority. She is presenting herself in a very respectable way. So I would guess SOSP, and if you disagree with me, just leave a comment and we can kind of talk it out.
Poison, but it's better.
Yes. I know it makes a huge difference. I love the way you communicate that. I think another challenge with some people is that they will stumble. And what happens often to people when they stumble, like, oh, I went off my diet, or oh, I had the drink, or then they're just like, I'm done. I'm going in the other direction. And they don't give themselves grace.
Yeah.
They don't give themselves grace. How do you communicate to people? Because you have an ability to decide something and do it. You definitely have that, but that's rare. A lot of people can't do that right out the gates. It's hard. And maybe you do struggle in some things that, we're not familiar with.
Yeah, because she's double assertive.
It's you stumbled. You're going to.
Yeah.
Do you set them up ahead of time? Is this something you communicate first?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think it's important to help people understand that it's an experiment, and so I was really,
It's just an experiment. It's more 7-head stuff.
I'm not an expert at this. Obviously, I'm a newbie, and that's so like me to, do something new and be like, okay, I want to help everybody else, but,
Yeah, and that's again the 7-head thing of like you don't really have that like kind of doubt, the ping-pongy thing of 6. Like, and I've seen that in myself. If I get interested in something, I'll like cram in information. I'm really excited about it, and I'm immediately just like hitting the ground running, doing it. Like even making these videos, it's like, okay, I know enough. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then with 3 Wing 2, she's doing it through this lens, all that 7-head excitement and like just hitting the ground running, but she's trying to like make it inspirational and also like a business model.
for me, I knew an all or nothing, like declaring that I'll never drink again. I still won't say that. I might,
Yeah.
but I know I'll never be a drinker.
Hmm.
And I want it to be an experiment. I think this all or nothing doesn't work for everybody. So there were people who were part of the 21-day challenge, and like by day 14, they're like, I I gave in and I had drinks last night, and my thought was, well, you can go back to where you were. Right. You can kind of keep going on this and experiment with. It's an experiment, just like exercise, just like fitness, just like anything. It's a journey, and we practice. You can practice quitting. You can practice cutting back. You practice these things until you get really good at them. And I wanted to offer a space because it feels like to me, the alcohol conversation is like you're either an alcoholic and you have to quit entirely. Yeah. But like, where does that person go who's like, we were just social drinkers. We just started becoming a lot more social. You know?
Extra social.
And so like, but I couldn't find a book for me. I couldn't find like and I knew I wasn't an alcoholic. So I wanted to help that person who's like, yeah, I just probably should cut back maybe.
Okay, so that's like the innovator thing. Again, like 3-7 stuff of like, I saw this need, I didn't see it being addressed, so I'm going to become this authority here. I will lead the charge. And yeah, I guess we can also check out, she's got a YouTube channel. Um, and again, I think the fact that it is pretty structured and focused, like there's a point, right? There's a point. It's not just, I'm having fun, I'm so cute. Woo. It's like she's teaching people. So I think that speaks to, again, SoSp for her. I kind of want to check out the shorts. Okay, yeah, so it to me it seems very it's focused. Like she's fun, she's carefree, but there is a point.
If this is your vibe, I want to be friends. If this is your vibe, I want to be friends.
So yeah, it's like very people-y. She wants to connect, and it's like it's personal, but it's not at the same time. Like she's just putting herself out there as a brand, really. And her brand is this like 379 thing.
No matter how old you are, you can improve the smoothness of your legs and your arms and your buttocks and everything else. In order to do that, we have to think about why we see cellulite. We see cellulite when fat cells, which enlarge when we put on weight. We typically don't get.
Okay, I was thinking we might see more of the the boom boom, but she will lure you in. Because again, like Thriving 2, it's like the motivational speaker. I am confident, I am wonderful, be like me and succeed, um, type of thing. So yeah, I mean she's like fearlessly, bravely leading the way, whatever she's doing, which I think again speaks to double assertive. And we can just look at a little Google search on her. So yeah, here it says she's a best-selling author, motivational speaker, not surprising, fitness expert. She's sold more than 10 million fitness DVDs and holds a Guinness World Record for the most fitness classes taught. So again, that speaks to her being like extremely dynamic. 3-7, the 9 fix has got to be last. Because you can see the hints of like the poise that she has, and reserving, holding back her tongue, where she's not going to throw shade on people, and she's also very aware of like maintaining not only like a positive self-image, but she doesn't want to like cause too many ripples in that kind of nine fix with a lot of positivity type of way. And like, yeah, I mean, you can see obviously like very assertive, but also like friendly and approachable at the same time. The whole, yeah, fitness Barbie thing, with her cute little colorful heels. Like this is such a DJ outfit. kind of like the general casual, like I'm assuming this is her husband. She's not just sitting on some random dude's lap, but like dreaming too. Like I'm friendly and people-y. Look at me. I'm so much fun type of thing. And anyways, guys, I think that's probably enough. So Chalene Johnson, she's a 3-wing 2 for sure. I think 7-wing 6 in her head fix second. 9-wing 1 in gut, and I think SOSP. And guys, YouTube is being really annoying. It's not letting me post links in my little comment box. But if you would like to get typed by me, either in Voltology, cognitive type, which I am certified in, or you want me to take a stab at your Enneagram type, I'm charging just $30 for now for like complete Enneagram typings because I am something of a novice. And if you want to get typed by me, you can reach out to me in the comment section. I will get back to you, or you can check me out on Instagram. I'm on Instagram and just post some fun little Enneagram themed memes if you want, if you're into that kind of thing. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching.